Welcome back to What's on Watches, and welcome back to another episode of A Moment of Your Time. I'm Thomas Watts, and today we have another special guest, Phil Reid. Phil, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for coming on. So let's jump straight into it. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me how you got into watches. Where did this all start?
Wow. A bit about myself. I got into watches because my dad, I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. He wore an Omega C-Master when I was a kid. So for me, just admiring my dad, I think it was quite an easy thing just to be like gravitating towards his watch. So the first ever watch that I bought was the exact same C-Master that he bought.
Was it the Brosnan one? Was it the sort of like the early Bond style? Or?
Yeah, it was. It was a Black Dial quartz. So it was an
golden
alright
eye
watch.
sort of vibe. Yeah,
it was an alright watch. It was pretty nice. So that's how I got into watches. I then kind of ignored my passion for a good 10, 15 years and decided to go into finance. I had a finance job for 4 years.
Oh wow.
And then got to the point where I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
Quit. And then almost as a last resort, got into watches.
Oh, brilliant.
Which is really strange, but it's like one of those things, like if you look back, it's easy to connect the dots.
Yeah.
To find out, I was obviously going to end up
doing this,
doing this full time. But like looking forward, it's a bit more difficult. So yeah, now I'm like 2.5 years into having my own watch business, still crazy about watches.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you have Watch Life then, that's sort of like your main platform for selling the watches that you do, but you also have, because I first came across you on YouTube, and that you've seen a lot of success on YouTube as well. I think you've collaborated with some fantastic people. Well, yeah, I mean, you've flown here, there and everywhere. I mean, you've been to Dubai, you've been to Amsterdam. I think we've just discussed that a little bit before off camera, and you've flown to Belfast, and I've seen all this stuff that you're doing. So did you start doing the YouTube before you did Watch Life, and then it sort of linked? That's when you took the inspiration to say, you know what, I'm going to start selling watches as well.
Yeah, and that's where my story's a bit interesting, because I've been doing YouTube for almost 5 years.
Oh, right, okay.
And I've only been making watch content for the last 3 years.
Oh, right, okay.
So when I transitioned into making watches, I didn't have a business. I just made watches just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And then kind of thought, you know what, I'm getting all these views, all these eyeballs. I probably should do something with it. So that's when I started the business.
Right.
So I think I'm probably one of maybe the only person who went from having a YouTube channel to having a watch business, whereas everyone else had a watch business and then went to social media and YouTube. So, and I don't know if I got a lot of or I don't think people agreed and whatever. But that's mine.
So what were you making with content with at the start? Was it?
Yeah. Well, as I said, I was in finance, so I did how to get a job in finance, what it's like to live and work in London, all that kind of stuff. So just like
quite lifestyle-y, that sort of thing.
Similar to what I do now, but just more in my finance job.
Right, fantastic, cool. So you brought some watches for us to have a conversation about today. Let's start with what you're wearing on your wrist. What have we got there?
Yeah, this is a Datejust 41, and it's the mint green dial.
Lovely.
Really like this watch.
Yeah.
Especially in natural sunlight. I think the mint green dial, in a dark room.
It's playing really nicely.
Yeah. But yeah, fantastic. Oyster bracelet, fluted bezel.
It's the first time I've seen this on the Oyster with the mint green dial, actually.
Everybody prefers this on a Jubilee.
Yeah, but I do really like it on an Oyster.
Yes.
It's quite cool.
Yeah.
So this is, what year did you say this was?
This is 2023.
So this was pretty much sort of was it 2022 this started to really hit the market?
I think it was 2022 when these came out, yeah. And I actually flew to Boston last month, and I went to an NBA game. I went to see Boston Celtics versus LA Lakers, and I wore this watch.
Oh, right.
And I was just admiring it, doing all the shots like courtside and like thinking it was amazing. And I love it. I think it's great.
I think the green dial, when they finally did it in this minty green dial, I'm glad they didn't do it exactly like the Submariner, for example. But it's a nice shade of green on that.
It's very nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah, really nice.
There's a watch down there that I think splits opinions, so I'm going to ask you to talk about that one. So
I know which one you mean already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you knew exactly.
It's this right here.
Yeah, the left-hand drive GMT.
Yeah.
So this is, again, available in stock.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on the left-hand drive GMT?
This has grown on me.
Okay.
At first, I kind of liked the idea of it just because it was new and something exciting that Rolex has put out. When I first got it, I didn't really get it, and I think that's what most people when they hold it, people are just like, obviously it's a left-hand drive, it's a left-hand watch, and I'm right-handed, so I guess that's why I don't get it, but it doesn't feel natural. It's odd to look at, and it's odd. But actually, when you wear it, it's very comfortable.
Yeah,
I love the split bezel color. options. I think it's great.
I think I'd be surprised if we didn't see something maybe come out with a similar bezel coordination again in the near future.
Red and black are you talking about?
Well, yeah, red and black. Yeah, I mean that's what the rumour mill's saying at the minute. But I hope that they do it in a traditional right-hand drive format as well.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool.
Do. But yeah, I understand what you mean, because when you got it out earlier on and you hold it in your hand, it just goes. It's just second nature, isn't it? It just moves with your right hand. But then, if you're left-handed, it makes a lot more sense.
it would be like sitting in a car on the left-hand side and trying to use the stick with your right hand. Like
driving in America.
Yeah. It would feel uncomfortable and not natural. But yeah, over time it's grown on me and you kind of love it now.
Now, there's a watch down there that I really, really like, and I'm going to ask you to talk about that one next, and that's the Royal Oak. So that's a 15400, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so the 15400, now this, I always find the market with this really interesting. Many, many years ago, like I said, when you were probably working in finance, I was working for a few authorised retailers. And I worked for I did work for a Patek AD, but an APA AD as well. And the market for this, compared to what it is now, is incomparable. Yeah. We used to have these readily available in a counter. Yes, of course.
What year was that?
So you're making me feel old now, mate. Thanks very much. I'm talking about 10 years ago.
Still okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, we had a book of people you'd call when one came in, but nobody was going absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
And they sold quickly, obviously, it's still a steel Royal Oak, people still wanted it. But the 15202, we had that in pink gold, and that was sat in the cabinet for 8 months.
Wow.
Nobody wanted it.
Wow.
Because it was 39mm, everyone said they preferred that, and the market has changed on that.
Yeah. I have an affinity to the 15.4. It's the same what everyone says. I like that you've got the automatic on the dial. Yeah. I quite like that obviously the date window is further into the dial versus right to the edge. I don't mind the indices. Like I really like it. I think the profile on my wrist wearing this fits way, way nicer. If I was wearing a shirt today, for me it just fits better. Aesthetically just is better.
So is this one 2018, 2019?
Yeah. How did you know that?
Psychic.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And honestly, I just find it so funny. I mean, if I could do a time machine, I could go back. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to afford one. I mean, I was, 17?
Yeah.
So,
no,
but
definitely not. But
if I could have my time again, the amount of pieces that you could pick up from a cabinet back then.
So I bought the one I bought in 2018. I think it was 15K. And then...
So yeah, that was list price. Yeah. Wow. And what are you asking for on that?
25.5.
Wow.
So it's like, for a Royal Oak, it's like, relatively speaking, it's a good price.
Yeah, it is. No, 100%. I mean, the prices are they've skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Air-King. Let's talk about the Air-King.
Why do we have to... Okay, I mean, I brought it, right?
Yeah, you brought it.
I own this watch. Admittedly, I own this watch.
So why did you buy that?
So
that's such a harsh question. Why did you do that?
Do you know, the honest answer is I took this on a Part X. So I actually sold a GMT Sprite to a chap, and he actually gave me these two watches right here.
Oh, really?
So he gave me the mint green Datejust and the Air-King. So
50% is a good deal.
50%
of it is a good deal.
Yeah. So I mean, I've still got them both, which I don't know what that says about the watches I Part X'd, but. I've done the deal, and he's happy with his price.
I'm being harsh on the Air-King. I mean, we sell a lot of Air-Kings, but like I say, we sell the 34mm, the blue dials, the older ones with the engine turn bezels, that sort of thing.
Right. Say something nice about this then.
Well, okay. I'm glad they put the crown guards on it.
Likewise.
Yeah.
The 05, they put a 0.
Yeah, they put a 0 in front of the 5. Good. That's good. Yeah. That's a great. My only issue with this watch. Is, and like I say, because the rest of it is just, like I say, traditional Rolex, DNA, Master bracelet, crown guards. It's the amount that's on the dial is my only issue with it. I completely understand why people really like that. If you want something, like I say, with the yellow logo and the green Rolex and the green hand, there's a lot of things there that a lot of collectors would get excited about because they're individual to this watch. Yeah. It's just on a personal preference. It's a bit...
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And like you said, with the green and the yellow, with the Rolex and the crown, it kind of reminds me of like an under-16s Rolex watch. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a little bit colourful.
My first Rolex.
There's some shapes on there and numbers, and it's kind of like,
So is that how you're going to market it?
Maybe.
My first Rolex.
Maybe to anyone that's got a trust fund or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Bring up some of your old finance friends and see if they want my first Rolex. Yeah.
But you know, it's an interesting watch. It's like, what is it for? Like on the Rolex website, it says something like a homage to aviation or something, and it's like, what does that mean?
I mean,
like.
A
pilot wouldn't wear this.
Yeah.
And a traveller wouldn't wear this.
Yeah.
They'd wear a GMT or a Skydweller.
Yeah, they would now.
So,
I mean, the original Air-King, all the way back to 1945 when they brought them out just after the war, that was so I sort of get why they say that, because it was a tribute to the pilots that had worn Rolex.
Okay, so I've just disrespected, like...
No! So, yeah, if you do want to cancel, Phil... But that was the whole sort of mentality around it. But with the launch of these newer styles, I mean, because this is the updated version, so where they added the crown guards. The previous version, I think it just stepped away really quite aggressively from what the Air-King was. And like we've just said with this, when Rolex does something a little bit daring, it becomes very, very, you love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't really slate your stock.
It's fine. No, it's fine. There's something with diamonds down here. Do you want to?
I know. See, the one thing that we've discovered while we've been doing these interviews is I always talk about how I really like understated vintage watches, but we've worked out how that is a complete lie.
Yeah.
Because I'm really ostentatious, and I've since found out that if it has diamonds on it, I really like it. So yeah, we'll talk about that then.
Yeah, cool. I'm happy you can admit that. I'm the same with full yellow gold watches.
Yeah.
It's not even a guilty pleasure. I just love them. I don't know why. I bought a full yellow gold Yacht Master. You know, the one that David Beckham wore. I don't know if you watched the documentary, but
what dial?
I think it was just a white dial, I think.
I was literally having a conversation with a dealer that we're friends with just before, and he got offered a full yellow gold with the blue dial. And he was like, tell me why I shouldn't buy this. And I was like, I can't actually tell you not to buy that, because under the radar quite like that.
Yeah.
So Datejust 41, diamonds, blue dial or black dial? I can't
This is black dial, diamond dot, and it's pretty much all I can say about it. I mean, I personally would prefer this watch if it didn't have diamonds.
Yeah.
But I do like diamonds in certain watches.
Yeah. But I mean, if you compare, like I say, again, just showing the variation that you can get with a Datejust. So you've got green with a fluted on an Oyster, you've got black on a Jubilee with a fluted. It looks like two completely different watches, even though they're very, very close in DNA. Yeah. Which one would you choose?
I would choose.
The one that you took to America with you. So what year is this one?
It's 2022.
2022.
2022.
Okay. What are you asking for on this?
Under 10k.
It's
a good
money.
price.
It's very good money.
Like all of them are good price, but like it's not something that I was thinking about this on the way, and knowing that you guys do vintage, I often feel like people that have watch businesses will often have stock that reflects what they personally like.
100%.
And I guess that's the case with you two.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about the shit that I have. No, I'm joking. I don't mean that. But I was thinking about what I have, and I was like, is this me? Is this a reflection of what I like?
Well, that's something. It's funny you mentioned that. I take it as, and Josh and I will both take that as a big compliment, because that's one thing we've always said. Everything that you see on our website is stuff that we really like and that we would wear, and we buy what we just buy what we like, because if we can be passionate about it, and like I say, when Josh is making the content on the watches, and when we sit down and talk about them, and when we sit down with customers and clients, you need to be able to share that passion.
Genuine.
But I mean, you clearly have a passion
which isn't coming across right now.
No, I would disagree. I think your passion is coming across for these pieces. Yeah. I think you've like, for example, this. I had this watch in a white dial. I really enjoyed it. It was part of my personal collection. Now I'm offering one with a black dial. Yeah. You wouldn't offer that if you just thought it was a piece of crap.
True. No, and I don't mind this piece. I really don't mind it. It's just not top of my list.
Yeah. So you have a MoonWatch down there. Or MoonSwatch, should I say? Sorry,
I do.
That sounded like a real backhanded way to introduce the watch, but I meant to say a MoonSwatch.
It is a swatch, yeah.
This is what you were actually wearing when you came in. This is something that is this one of your personal ones that you...
Yeah, I bought this.
Okay, did you queue up?
Did I queue up? No, I didn't. I actually bought this a couple of months ago, and I think they're actually selling most of the colours now. So I did wear this when I walked in, and I did...
Sorry, I didn't actually... No, that sounds like I've just set you up for failure. I'm not trying to out you. Sorry. Yeah. The reason why I was asking is I thought that was a personal.
Technically, it's the only personal, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I wore this. I came in with this because I live in London, and it's one of the watches you can wear.
Well, if you want to out me as well, because I was actually wearing an Apple Watch
You
when we
were,
were sat down, because we've been in London, so you could have easily outed me there. So you're not on your own. What's your opinion on the MoonSwatch?
Yeah, if we're talking about under 16s, what maybe this is an under 12s, you know? I like it.
Yeah.
You know, if that was a 5 grand watch, would I like it? No, but because it's 200 quid, I'm like, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's cool.
It is cool. Do you think it was the right move from Swatch Group? Trying to get the industry insight from your view.
From a group point of view, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like probably cashing in.
Yeah, 100%.
Omega, what does that do to their brand? I don't. There's probably there's pros and cons, isn't there? But I don't know. The Omega fanboys probably don't like this too much.
Well, Josh, who's off camera today,
yeah,
he used to have a Speedmaster.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't happy.
He
wasn't happy when they launched the MoonSwatch.
Yeah, you weren't so special anymore, were you? When everyone had the toy version.
The reason why I ask is, again, showing how we've been doing this business now for the last 2 years. But I actually worked for the Swatch Group when this was in the pipeline.
Really?
Yeah, and it was really interesting because it completely split everybody straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Obviously, Swatch were very, very happy.
Yeah.
The Omega team, they weren't very happy. But again, I think, and somebody who we did an interview with a little while ago made a fantastic point of what, like I say, slate me for wearing an Apple Watch when I came in, but if you're going to be that, like I say, that young person getting into watches, and see people like yourself wearing this, and they actually want to get into watches, what a brilliant place to start.
Yes.
Because Swatches are great, and everybody, I don't know how many people you've spoken to that had a Swatch as one of their first watches. Swatch or Casio was pretty much the going vibe.
Yeah.
And I completely understand. And when people like yourself in your position who have a strong social media following see people wearing this, and it's, in the grand scheme of things, and relatively speaking, it's an accessible watch.
It is, yeah.
I think it offers a contribution to the industry.
Contributes, definitely. And I joke about the under 12s thing, but actually when I see people wear this in London, I'm like, I know you know watches.
Yep.
I know there's something more to you.
Yeah.
90% of the time, you know, the guy wearing this in London or wherever has got other stuff.
At home that he doesn't want to have taken off his wrist. So we're down to the last two. I'll let you choose which one you want to talk about next, because we've got two with, well, you've got a Black Bay.
Yeah, should we do that?
We've got the Black Bay.
Should we get both out?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Black Bay, I'll give you the honest answer first, and if you want to cut that out, you can cut it out. But eBay gave me this. eBay basically said to me, we'll give you 2.5K to spend on eBay. Go buy any watch you want. And I was doing like work with them. Yeah. So I thought 2.5. Actually, it was 2 grand they gave me at first. Yeah. Credit. And I was like, 2 grand. I was looking at all these tiny little Cartiers, like, and then I was like, look, 2 grand is not enough. I need at least 2.5 so I can buy something like this. And they were like, fine. So I bought this for...
You haggled on credit. That's incredible. Fair play, sir.
Yeah, right, exactly. I was just like, look, I want to do a video with you guys, but I want a watch I would actually wear and want to buy myself. So I got this. That's the honest answer. Okay. So maybe we...
No, I listen, that's cool. So that's the fact that that's a free watch. What a good free watch to get.
Exactly. I like it, but not enough to keep it. I'd rather sell it. I have worn it a little bit. The only thing is it's got like stickers on still. So I'm like... I don't really want to
take the stickers off.
Yeah, so
you can sell it as unworn.
But Tudor as a brand, I like what they do. I think I love the Black Bay. I do love it. I love this on NATO. If you've ever seen this on NATO, but really cool, pretty cool.
See, I've had quite a few Tudors. Yeah, personally, I had quite a few Tudors. I had the 58 in the silver, and I had that on a NATO. Yeah, and I loved that watch. It's cool. Yeah. But I think, like you said, for that kind of price range, 2.5 grand, if you don't want to go down the vintage road, but if you want to go down the modern road, it's a really, really good place to start. Yes. It's a lot of watch for 2.5 grand,
Do you think there's a better watch you could get for 2.5K?
Modern. Modern only.
Yeah,
okay.
So if you were giving advice to someone, because you look at Omega now, it's like...
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I love Omega. Like, I really love Omega. And one of the only personal watches that I still have is actually an Omega, Aquaterra. Yeah. But I only because I paid, I want to say, about 75% of what the current retail price is.
Look at you.
Yeah, but I mean, I've had it 5 years, and just from the price increases, and the fact I was working for a Swatch group at the time, I was able to get it at a good price. But yeah, I think you're pretty much on the money there, because at £2,500, what have you got? You've got this Tudor. You've maybe got, like I say, but we're keeping modern, so we'll keep something in the last 5 years. What else have you got? Tag. And I'd rather have an Aqua Racer I'd rather have a Black Bay than an Aqua Racer. 100%. And I think, I think first step, really cool piece. And I think with the blue dial, I mean, again, how crazy did people go for this when it came out? It was just absolutely obscene.
Yeah.
And I like the fact it links to... It has a shared history with the watch that you've got there.
Exactly. And this is the newest, most recent purchase that I've made.
Okay.
And this is a 2024 Rolex.
Okay.
So I think it's probably the only 2024 that I've had. But yeah, sub-date, the classic, the much loved. I don't really know what I can say that a lot of people don't already know about it. But
thoughts on making it when they made it 41 instead of 40?
Well, I had a Hulk which was 40.
Same.
And I liked that kind of boxy look to it. Because obviously the lugs were a little bit chunkier, and I kind of like it now.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I think it was the right move. Looks slimmer, fits better. Although it's a bigger watch, kind of looks and wears smaller.
It does have a slimmer profile. Yeah. It does have a much slimmer profile.
I think a good move.
I think it is a good move.
Yeah, I like it.
And I mean, again, we're going back to what we were saying, if somebody's, I mean, what's the retail? It's just about 10, would I say?
9K for that.
9K.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting a Rolex and you've got 10 grand and you want something that you're never really going to get bored of, and something that's really going to stand the test of time, that's where the sub...
But you guys must look at that and be like, oh, God, how many thousands of people have these? Like, how
being
boring.
really polite, Phil.
Be honest, like it's a classic, but also is it a super boring watch? Yeah.
Okay. It's not super boring. I wouldn't describe it as super boring, because I've just put that in my hand and gone, yeah, a bit like that. Yeah. I'm not looking. I mean, does it give me the tingle? Do you want to call it the tingle? Yeah. It doesn't give me the tingle, but that is, again, but we're spoiled because we like the vintage stuff. Yeah. So you can sit down and talk to somebody who has 20 years of Submariners, and every single one's a little bit different, and its talking points is, and I'm dorky, and I like that. Yeah. Whereas this is really clean, but you could actually still, compared to a lot of the vintage stuff, you could actually still use that for what it's made for.
Totally.
But I don't find it boring, no. Okay. And I actually do agree with you that I do prefer a 40mm, obviously vintage case size, but I'm wearing this is nearly 42, they call it the 41, even though it's 41.9, I think. Yeah. But you'll find out more about that when Josh does his review. But yeah, I don't find this boring, and I think it's really clean.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people that are just getting into Rolex and maybe do have, they're fortunate to have 10 grand to spend on a watch, you can't go wrong with that. It's like, if these are valued at a similar price, it's like...
Yeah, well, that's a good point. They are pretty much the same money, aren't they?
So it's kind of like, maybe just go for the sub. Yeah. And also, like, what I love about the sub is the fact that you can just change the size so easily with the glide lock.
Yeah.
And I know it's nothing new, right? But even today, if I wear a sub...
It's new to us. It's new to you us guys, yeah.
Do you want me to hold your hand? You've never held a modern watch.
Yeah, completely out my depth.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Phil, I mean, you've brought some really nice pieces today, and I really appreciate you sitting down and talking to us. If the guys at home want to find out more about you, where do they need to go?
I've got a YouTube channel. It's my name, Phil Reid. If you want to follow on Instagram, _watchlife. I've got these watches and some others. If you want to buy or sell a modern watch, get in touch. Happy to chat.
Perfect. Thanks again, Phil, and thank you to everybody at home. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.